Hey, this is Notser, and we're in the Tier 10 French cruiser, Henri IV, and we're playing on the map Tears of the Desert with Epicenter as the game mode, and this was a pretty awesome game. We're using the legendary module, which increases the gun range, the rate of fire, but it decreases the ship detectability even more than not using concealment. Like, there's a debuff of, I think, 5 or 10% detectability associated with the module, and it sits in slot 5, so the plus or minus is, I think, 15 or 20% detectability difference. It's pretty intense, and I haven't seen a ship with every module, every skill taken, and still having a concealment of like 15.8 or 15.6. It's pretty intense. You can't deal with anything. You are quite literally only long-range support, unless of course it gets into a scenario where you've got teammates that drag the enemy into a position where you can take advantage of it, and that's exactly what's going to happen in this game, and I can't wait to show it. I really enjoyed the game overall, and I hope you do as well. So we're out on the southeast side of the map, got a couple friendlies over here. We're engaging at super long range, of course, and the gun's very accurate, very good rate of fire. Did a little bit of HE, a little bit of AP, switch back and forth. There will be scenarios where I do benefit from AP, but probably not as much as HE at this point. They're just so long that they have more than enough time to angle away. And obviously, focus fire. So the North Carolina put my fire out with damage control, and I relit a fire, 2 fires actually, and he's just gonna suffer. Absolutely suffer. But I do recognize that, you know what? There's a significant amount of enemies that appear to be moving on this flank, and I really don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to work my way back, and I don't want to get in the friendly's way, because clearly that would be bad. Like, really bad. So I decide I'm just going to stay stationary with my speed boost, allow him to completely retreat. Finning, of course, appreciates it, as any and all teammate would. And I figure I just have to make them miss once. I've got the benefit of speed boost, and speed boost improves the responsiveness of the engine. It doesn't improve its forward momentum, it improves the responsiveness of the engine. So it will benefit you if you're trying to go back and forth a little bit, juke a little bit. And it ended up working. Nobody actually hit me. We were able to allow our friendly to continue to move back, and what is this hipper doing? He's sailing broadside. I wish I switched to AP. Man, I wish I switched to AP. But unload HE, and then I do switch, and maybe I'll get a chance to fire 1 AP before. I think it's good. I think it'll be okay, maybe. I think we'll hit the target. No, of course not. Of course we won't hit the target. But he looks to be still moving forward. And I was just gonna see if I could verify, switch my ammo again, and then wait a minute. He is moving forward. What? Hipper. Hipper, this is not what you do, Hipper. You don't move into friendlies. You don't do that. You just pull back and then you fire from range. That's what you're supposed to do. And I don't give enough lead on the first shot, unfortunately. Second shot, I have to squeeze it off just before the island. Otherwise, it wouldn't even have a chance of hitting it, and it clearly didn't hit the target. If I would have just spent the time leading enough, aiming on the first salvo, I would have gotten damage. Clearly, the second salvo wouldn't have been effective at all. But for whatever reason, the Hipper's allowing us to have more opportunities to engage him, which is fine. Incredibly accurate shot, and it is placed very well. It just overpins. The one weakness of the Henri, I think, is that the gun caliber definitely overpins a ton on broadside cruisers. And I don't know how to stop that. I try and aim a little bit lower. Maybe I'll get a Citadel, but some of it's going to dunk into the water. Either way, we're doing good salvos. We just can't do the punch out that I'm looking for yet. And of course, the one time I do get a citadel, he was already dead with that salvo. So the insane, absolutely insane cruiser is dead. Team has dominated the western flank, and they are moving forward. We're just trying to stall them out on the eastern flank. I've kind of got the flank on the Moskva, so I'm going to fire some AP. I want to force him to move. He is showing his bow to my friendly, and of course, that's what he's supposed to do. But I just want to try and keep my team alive. Pretty straightforward. And it does look like he's a little annoyed. I am very aware of how people feel and look from long range because I try and keep my distance, and I would say annoyed is a good description for him. And it does look like he's moving forward. So I'm obviously leading him in the direction he's headed. And we're doing pretty good salvos, honestly. No citadel yet, but 4 or 5k, 9.5 second reload. Yeah, it's pretty good. It does pretty good damage. It's really scary how quickly the damage racks up with this legendary module coupled with the rate of fire module that is in a different slot. Now this is something that, honestly, I can get behind because it really changes the way I feel about the ship. No longer am I taking a shot, not having the accuracy to effectively lead the target and engage it. Instead, this is more in line with German cruiser, the American cruisers. It's got that rate of fire that is usable, right? And I appreciate that. So, you know, this is great. Enemy is pushing up on this flank, though, and that is not great. So I think I'm going to get one more shot at the Bismarck and then move forward. Turned on my speed boost to get a little bit more around the island before the enemy really catches on exactly what I want to do. And someone used an aircraft, so they do see me, and I just got to chill. Nothing else to do than to just wait. If I rush out, I'll be giving my broadside to the assaulting force of the enemy. If I rotate around, maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get a broadside shot on maybe another ship that I was firing on, maybe a cruiser. Does look like the Bismarck is kind of rotating around, so I felt pretty good. Felt pretty confident about rotating around here, and oh my god. There's a Des Moines that just rotated around, who is probably using his radar. And the friendly Shima caught out with his pants down, has no health. He is absolutely going to die, and yep, he's so dead. And now I have to present not my broadside. We get a citadel, which is good. Because he's going to, we're going to turn AP to me, and I just continue it. Going to make use of the torpedo, although pretty futile. Only got 3 torpedoes, 1 launcher per side. Yeah, you're not going to hit much. And he still sees me. So I unload a little bit more AP, knowing full well that it was going to bounce. I hope that he will eventually angle away, and he is really trying to punish me. But the island's in the way now. So we're safe. The enemy team has brought it back to within 50-50. Both sides have the same amount of ships dead. And I figure, until he decides to rotate around the island, I'm going to harass his team. Because I don't really want more than one person being able to engage me. So this enemy Iowa is a good candidate. Firing at the waterway and keeping the enemy Des Moines in my sights. Enemy Iowa seems annoyed, as he should be, by my fire. So he's going to try and present his bow to me, and he's going to fire AP, and I'm going to try and avoid it as best as I can. And all things considered, I think we're good. And of course he's barely alive, and of course we don't get to kill him. But at least he's dead, right? And the Des Moines radar is finally off, or some system. He finally used it all up. But I have no way of knowing exactly where the enemy could or couldn't be. Enemy Yamato is moving forward, and I'm very excited at the prospect of getting a broadside citadel on this guy. But I'm very hesitant because there are enemies that could potentially rotate around, and I'm detected. So yeah, Des Moines, you're not going to get me. There's too many rocks. we could just look at each other, you know, wave. But I'm going to move forward, make sure I'm not stuck on the rocks again, and just fire AP on the broadside. And I need to avoid the rocks here, by the way. But once I do, 3 citadels easily go in. Enemy Shimakaze sends 1 torpedo set, a 2nd torpedo set. Now there should be a 3rd set. And here's the 3rd set. So once all 3 go by, I'm going to rush this guy. I don't have benefit of my speed boost, but he's got to react, right? He's out in the open. He has to rotate around with his team. One of my friendlies maybe gets a flank shot on him. I'm going to go for it. Knowing full well that I have torpedoes as well at a close range engagement, and I have AP, I think I feel pretty good about this situation. So yeah, we get around, and obviously the Shima's there. Probably could switch to AP, honestly, to punish this angling by the Shima. I mean, he really isn't angling at all, but anything can happen. And sure enough, it does. He shows a little bit too much side. We punish him big. Don't get the kill, of course. Why would we get the kill? And I'm just like, go time. Let's finish off these 2 targets. Enemy Des Moines, he can't deal with me. He is using hydroacoustic, though, or one of them are using hydroacoustic, so they will see this, and of course, right as we're about to round the corner, it ends for him. And that's a terrible, terrible scenario for him, because he can't confirm exactly where my ship is, and yeah, he's dealing with it hardcore. Enemy Bismarck's in front of me, and yep, he's going to over-angle, and I should be able to punish this hardcore. Looks good. Oh, we get a citadel, just barely alive once again. Barely alive, and yes. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. But only 1 ship left. Enemy Bismarck. Gonna send my torpedoes. Why not? Still have AP loaded. Going for the superstructure. And yes, I just got a citadel. When I fired at the superstructure, it looked like one of the shells went into the barbettes. That's what it appeared to be. It was a really weird citadel, but you know, AP on a broadside battleship, pretty good. 8K per salvo, really nice. And we take out the Bismarck, have an outstanding game in this ship, and I absolutely loved the module because the rate of fire was usable, very enjoyable for me. Personally, I prefer rate of fire. And yeah, 200,000. Almost 5 Kraken. I mean, there was at least 3 ships that are under a K. And yeah, it's just the way it works out. Hope you enjoyed seeing Henry IV with the legendary module. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.